We are going to start with some football, and we're going to start with Wild Card Weekend, Super Wild Card Weekend. Excuse me, that's what they call it now. But first and foremost, first 7 seed to win
Ever.
in NFL playoff history.
Raise the roof.
So this my
Uh,
favorite part about the weekend was Bears fans being equally upset that the Packers were still good, but also giving us props for having yet another seemingly franchise quarterback
look,
just ready to go, lying in wait. I must say, this transition process, I don't know too much about off years. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know too much about off years as a Packers fan. I'm
Mm,
not gonna hold you. So happy about
spoiled.
very, very much so. Very much so. But yeah, destroyed the Cowboys. Cowboys back in the air for sure. Sorry to
Hmm.
all you Dallas fans. I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not. But yeah, any thoughts on Packers Cowboys and the rest of Super Wild Card Weekend as we know it at this current point in time? I think there's one game left, but yeah, thoughts on Wild Card Weekend.
So I will say I'm not surprised that the Cowboys lost, but I am surprised in the manner in which they lost. I did not expect the Packers to go in to Jerry World and dominate the way that they did on both sides of the ball too. Like they
Absolutely.
had a complete game. Dallas was trash. They didn't it was 27-0 at one point. Dak looked like he was the first year starter. The defense, where was Micah Parsons, Demarcus Lawrence? Nobody on defense showed up. And then I just want to talk about one clip that I saw with Jair Alexander and CD Lamb. Jair jammed CD, and CD didn't do anything back. Like he jammed him. It was obviously a push after the play. You know, players start jawing and all that, but CD didn't have anything to say. So it seemed as if they had checked out in the first half when they were down 27-0.
Yeah.
yeah,
So Gail.
I was gonna say, it was expected. It's the Cowboys. I mean, I not to be, you know, all my friends know. They saw. I stood 10 toes. They were like, "Oh, my uncle." They were like, "Oh, you're gonna have to see us in the playoffs. Oh, aren't you worried about the Cowboys?" And I'm like, "No, it's Mike McCarthy in the playoffs. We've seen it. He had Aaron Rodgers for how long, and he couldn't get it done. And it's Dak Prescott. We knew who he was. Like we know what he is. And Jordan Love, all right. Let me give you the spiel. It's always the hot teams in the playoffs. Like the Giants weren't the best when they got those rings against the Patriots. Like they were not the best team in the league. They were just trending upwards at the right time. And I feel like we had to play hot to get in. We are remaining hot, it seems. We dropped 48 on supposedly one of the best defenses in the league. And now we have to go into the 49ers territory, which it's in the script every year. Oh, we beat Dallas, but 49ers punk us every year since Cap. Since Cap,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
they've been running down our ass like
Mm-hmm.
every single time we see him. If Jordan Love gets this done, he is by far not gonna say eons ahead of what I mean, first year for year, him versus Aaron versus Brett versus Bart, even. I mean, he's had a historic year. So if he can get this done against the 49ers,
Yeah,
I,
they were showing a
I
graphic. They
Oh,
were
go
showing a
ahead.
graphic of Love's stats versus Favre and Aaron Rodgers in their first playoff games. Aaron Rodgers lost his first playoff game to Arizona in a shootout.
Yeah, I think that was the Warner game. And
Yeah,
we
that
should
was the
have won
Kurt
that
Warner
game. I
game.
didn't forget.
Yeah.
I did not forget.
Yes.
The face
Yep.
mask. We should have won. We should have won.
Yep. Yeah, but the numbers were there,
Mhm.
obviously, for them to show that graphic. So it's not far fetched what you're saying. I will say it's probably a little too early, but Jordan Love looks like he's trending towards the right direction.
Yeah, I know a lot of people didn't believe. I know a lot of people didn't believe early in the season. I wouldn't say that I was skeptical. I just thought it was going to take a bit more time. I did not expect him nor the team to seemingly grow as much as they did in season. But cylinders are clicking at the right time, and I have more confidence going into San Francisco next week than I would have if we had played them first. Because I don't know if we would have put up this type of performance against them. But coming off of this performance, I mean, they talked about it a lot during the broadcast, but I think having such a young receiving core, and not having a true number one, I think has been beneficial to Jordan Love and the offense, because when you can just, he said, you can just, what's the best football play? Like, what's the let the play develop? I don't have to look for my number one. I don't
Yep.
have to get one person involved. It's who's ever open. And I mean, our young receivers are, I mean, they all have the potential to be, threats, in the next couple of years. So I think, regardless of how far we get, I think this has been a great year for a team that will probably be scary for years to come, given how young we are at that. So yeah, I mean, that's all Packers Cowboys, but last thing on Packers.
Last, because I was a little bit rushed and everything. I'm just so excited because this is all just icing on the cake. This is a
Right.
rebuild year. We weren't supposed to be here. They like after those first few weeks, they definitely like wrote us out. So now I feel like this is just good to get winning culture in Green Bay for this next young group. And the 49ers are there. They got, the MAGA men in the backfield, Bosa and the boys trying to, that
MAGA
will be
man.
a force to be reckoned with come this next game. They got C-Mac,
They
shouts
do.
out longest yard, the reference that I'm talking about. I won't say that. But I feel like this is going to come down to who can manage the game best at QB, and I feel that Jordan Love will be showing why he is and should have been considered a better QB than Brock Purdy this year, because Brock Purdy has just been carried by his defense and his great team around him. And C-Mac has done everything. C-Mac has done everything. And let's see who gets the job done.
Cam Newton did say Purdy is a game manager. So we'll see. He put Dak in that category too.
How did y'all feel about those comments? I mean, especially now. I mean, the Dak. I mean, Dak definitely ain't beating the allocations for sure.
Yeah,
that's clear.
Even prior to this, no.
No, like they are. They thought they were, or we thought they were. Yeah, however it goes, but that's what it's going to be this Saturday. Mark my words.
Right. I mean, last thing on that, at least on the Cam comments, I don't think that Cam's comments were what people made them out to be.
Mhm.
I mean, as a starting QB himself, I think that obviously he's speaking from perspective of just how different QBs can affect the game, and I don't think being a game manager is disrespectful or anything to feel disrespected about. But of course, it just makes for more discussion, in the league and during the season. But other games in the wild card, CJ Stroud in the Houston Texans. Thoughts on that?
Our month is coming up.
No, he looks great.
Yeah.
That I don't want to say it was surprising, but again, I didn't expect the level in which he performed. But he was just so confident. It looked like he'd been there before. But you could tell that experience from coming from a top program like Ohio State, it definitely showed. Even with a higher caliber of talent, he just was so cool, calm, and collected. And that's who we've known CJ to be at quarterback. It was just very impressive to see that in an NFL playoff game, rather than, the college playoffs.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Flacco Hive. We made it far. We never thought that we would. I didn't think I'd be mentioning Flacco Hive in 2024. That was that was a thing. But yeah, the Browns, they shouts out. They did it without Massage Watson. And, I think that, if that defense continues.
Hey, wait.
What?
Do you see something?
No, I just caught what he said.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I think they
I
did
was
it
like,
the right
who is
way.
that?
They did it the right way.
I'm sorry.
No,
That really caught me
I'm
off
glad
guard.
that we didn't have to see, that. So it was a good football game. Shout out to Chase Stroud too. Same passer rating as Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Top
Both
5 in,
third all time. I think. I don't think it's playoffs ever. It might be in first playoff game. I think
it might have been because it was Peyton Manning at 158.3, and I think Josh Allen against the Patriots at 157.6. Jordan Love would have had a perfect passer rating if it weren't for his last 2 incompletions.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Crazy. So
That is
not to throw
that's
us
tough.
back in there. Shout out Aaron Jones, who looked like a complete team. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right now,
Two,
the Bills stomped
the
the
Steelers.
Steelers. Yeah, like that has happened.
Yeah.
So all we have to wait for is now the Eagles to possibly do the impossible and lose to Baker Mayfield. Oh my God! If we imagine talking about Baker Hive,
Hey, if Baker goes out there and balls out and takes out Philly, yeah, it's gonna be tough.
that'd be
It's gonna be
hilarious.
yeah,
Come
it's gonna
on.
be.
What did he do on the sideline against Kansas? Something. Yeah. And planted the flag.
Uh,
All that.
other other AFC game. Chiefs and Dolphins. Cold as hell.
Yeah.
Cold as hell.
Mm.
First and foremost. I'm not surprised by Tua and the Dolphins' performance. I don't know what the balance of it was between the weather and Tua just not necessarily. I don't know how much of this is like Tua's fault per se. I just don't think the Dolphins as a team. I just think the environment got the best of them. They're not used to playing in those type of
Mhm.
conditions. Tua's first playoff game. You can see how much they relied on the pass and Tariq, and when that was taken away, there just didn't seem to be much there. I thought the game would be a little bit closer, a little bit more competitive, because it's not so much that the Chiefs played outstanding, per se, but I think they just, did what they needed to do. But thoughts on that game? And how do we feel about the Chiefs this season as compared to other seasons? Because in other seasons, they've looked completely dominant and we've almost expected them to walk to the Super Bowl, in a lot of cases in the last couple of years, but doesn't seem the case so much this year.
Yeah, I think for one, as we've expected, well, I don't know if we've expected it, but a lot of opposing teams have kind of been able to dial up what the Chiefs' tendencies are, whereas, in years past, they might have switched it up in terms of their attack. Maybe they want to run it, maybe they want to, use Mahomes and have him run a couple times, but as of late, it just looks like teams are prepared, a lot more prepared for what the Chiefs have to offer. But the game on Saturday, I think you have a point when you say it wasn't a spectacular game by the Chiefs, but I think it was more so, the Dolphins not being accustomed to playing in that type of weather. Tua, when times, there's a little pressure, he tends to ball up. So that too. And I just feel like for the Dolphins, if your game plan is to pass the ball and you're passing it to Tyreek, don't you think players that have gone against him in practice in years past would know what his tendencies are? So the game plan I was a little critical about. But yeah, other than that, I actually wasn't surprised at how that game went.
Yeah. Tua turn the ball over. Yeah, that's famous nickname.
Wow.
From him. No, I mean, when you say ball up, it kind of, he had his longest rush of the season that game, which was 9 yards. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
this
Which
man can
is
roll out.
Which
Like,
is crazy to me because Tua clearly, has some speed
Mhm.
to him. I'm not expecting them to make him a runner per se,
yeah.
but I was a bit surprised when I found out that was his longest rush of the season.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like you said, first playoff game. Kansas City has been there. They've done this. And I am terrified because Taylor Swift is in their fan base, and I don't know what the NFL will do to get her to a Super Bowl and to sit there on the sideline and then show her for half the game. I no. I mean, I want to see Jordan Love versus Lamar Jackson. That's all I want to see. I want to see Lamar versus Patrick Mahomes, and I want to see Lamar
Mhm.
off, and I want to see the two best black QBs in the next however many long years. And I want them to drop a new NFL street, revamped. And this is the modern day NFL I want to see. This is what I want. If they can get this done and they can make this one of the most cracking Super Bowls of all time, Usher is going to be halftime.
It
We
it could be
deserve
lit.
it. Our month.
It's our month.
They were going to be upset about that Beyonce performance last time. They're about to be so upset when Usher plays in the club. Something.
It's our month.
That's 50 Cent or something, but I'm so geeked for what could be. Or we can get Josh Allen versus, Brock Purdy. Next.
Is it Lamar's year? Is it Lamar's year to go all the way and get it done?
It's get it done. I don't know. Go all the way. Yes. Get it done.
Ain't that Jordan Love kid.
Hey man,
That's not who I'm thinking about, but yeah.
Those boys in San Francisco.
I don't know. So is Philly just out of it? Does nobody have faith in Philly anymore, given how the last half of their season went?
It feels like they're imploding too.
We just have to make it through the night.
Yeah.
Make it through the night. They got a shot, but hey, I don't know. Baker
Like,
I don't know. I don't know about them versus Detroit though. Especially if AJ Brown isn't coming back. That's not going to be an easy game for Philly.
Exactly. Like a lot of people are asleep on Detroit, and it's because, they're Detroit, but Dan Campbell has them playing like their hair is on fire. Like they are really good.
Yeah. So it's good. I like this current scenario currently.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Packers, Lions, and then I don't know how the AFC is looking in terms of who would face off last, but as long as Baltimore's coming out of it and Mark Andrews makes a miraculous appearance, I want to see everyone at full strength. I don't want any excuses.
Wait, so in the AFC, so Baltimore has a bye.
Yes.
And they are going to play who?
So it's Bills. It's Chiefs at Bills next week.
Mm-hmm.
And then who won that first AFC game?
That's the winner of the Eagles Bucks, right?
Oh yeah.
No, that's the NFC.
That's NFC.
Yeah.
What was the AFC? Houston.
Houston goes to play Baltimore. Yes. Yep.
It's a lot of melanin at QB in these finals.
It's a lot of melanin at QB. Not mad at it. Not mad at it.
No, not at all.
Family Feud instincts. It's like, who am I gonna?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, no.
What did Issa Rae say? I'm rooting for everybody black.
Absolutely. Divisional round should be exciting indeed.